Hello, everyone. This is Carla from Rehan Allahwala's World of Connections. And today I am here to talk to Agha Ameer Mukhtar. Agha, what do you want me to call you? You want me to call you
Um,
Agha Ameer or Mukhtar?
Aga is fine.
Okay. And he is a lawyer, and we're going to find out about law in Pakistan. Having said that, I want to remind you that this show is sponsored by the Institute of Peace, which is an online organization promoting peace one conversation at a time. Aga, can you please introduce yourself?
Carla, thank you so very much for taking me on this live interview, and I welcome all your viewers. Carla, I'm a legal activist, to be called precisely in Pakistan. Most of my work is based on the legal issues. Either I'm working on the issues of library in different parts of Sindh. Basically, I am from Karachi, Sindh, Pakistan. Karachi is a city, Sindh is a province, uh, and Pakistan is a country. So in Sindh, I work for legal right issues. I work for fundamental rights that are guaranteed in Pakistani constitution. I work for rape victims. My firm, basically, I am a part of a big firm. We have 4 lawyers in it. They are all dedicated to work free of cost most of the time for the poor people. They work for rape victims, they work for murder victims, they work for people who are harassed, they work for women who are harassed, and they work for people who are bankrupted, uh, people who suffer frauds, and many things. Any kind of issue which you are suffering, you should not be suffering, and you are not able to pay for its pieces. We are here, we are there. My firm is there to help people out there. The recent work, what our firm was doing, was to demand library, to demand community park for different areas of Sindh. We firmly believe that libraries and public park are very basic, very essential, and a very important part of legal rights, a very important part of fundamental rights. It's their fundamental right to enjoy playing in a very good municipal playground. It's their fundamental right to study in a very good library, in a very good environment. Having said that, what triggered me to do this, I was, before this, I was professional, I was working professionally as a professional lawyer, all concerned with my courts and clients. The thing that motivated me to work for legal rights, the thing that motivated me to work for fundamental rights, when I saw people, when I saw my juniors, when I saw students of city of Ranipur, they were literally standing on a petrol pump, on the lights of, under the lights of petrol pump, where they did not had electricity in their houses because of load shedding issues here. Their library was not functional, was lacking facilities, and they were forced to study for their exams under the lights of a petrol filling station. So that triggered me to work for legal rights, and now I am a legal rights activist here in Pakistan, and I'm a consultant. My firm works for, uh, basically, my firm is all concerned about tax, services, corporate, criminal, family, and civil issues.
Wow. Now, can we just go back a little to your life? You said were you born in Karachi?
No, I was born in the city of Ranipur, district Khairpur, province Sindh.
And when did you go to Karachi?
I come here in Karachi when I started my law school.
Oh, so where did you go to law school?
I started my law school in Sindh Muslim Law College. It's a very prestigious, very old. It is the first law college of the Pakistan.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. How many are there a lot of law schools in Pakistan?
Uh, I won't say there are a lot of law schools in Pakistan, but for sure there are a lot of law schools in Karachi. We have approximately 6 to 8 government law schools in Karachi, and the first ever law university in Karachi as well. First ever law university of Pakistan in Karachi.
Okay.
We
Um,
are
go on.
we are we are also striving to get new law schools built in other cities so that people do not need to leave their cities, leave their basic village, basic countrysides to go and to come here in Karachi and just for study and go back and practice there. If the people, if the students want to practice in their own areas, they should learn there as well. No? They should be provided a right, a basic institution there. So there are many cities who are lacking of these law schools, basic law schools with basic degrees of LLB. So they are forced to come here in Karachi and they study here.
Wow, that's really cool. Um, are you married?
No, I'm single.
Oh, okay. So you don't have any kids and you're not, are you living alone now or are you living with your family?
No, I'm living alone. I have an apartment here in Karachi. I live there all alone.
Do you like Karachi?
I love Karachi.
What what do you like about Karachi?
There are many things about Karachi, but one of the great positive points of Karachi, Karachi is full of the people that have inclusive mindset. Karachi is a very welcoming city. There are
Hmm.
many cities in Pakistan where you go and they are good for tourism, but they don't welcome you to be part of that city for your life. But Karachi is a city, whether you are Sindhi, whether you're Pakhtun, whether you are Balochi, whether you are from any caste or creed of Pakistan, it will welcome you. It will include you in its own soil. It will provide you your bread, butter, your living, everything, your education. So the inclusive part of society is something that I'm very attracted to. Is most appealing thing about Karachi.
That's really interesting.
Yeah,
I haven't been there yet. I plan to come, but I'm not sure when. So,
Karachi, Karachi is a mini Pakistan.
a mini Pakistan.
Yeah,
Hmm.
you will find people from every province, from every city living here in Karachi.
Wow. I didn't know that. I know that it's one of the biggest cities in the world, that second only to New York, correct?
Yeah, it's the seventh largest city.
Wow. That's amazing. I would have never known that. Now, what made you decide that you wanted to become a lawyer? Was your father a lawyer or
My mother died in 2008. We
oh,
were she was a cancer patient. Earlier to that, she was a doctor. When she died, she was in government job. When she died, we had to go for a succession certificate in local district courts. Uh, that was the time I was preparing for my engineering classes. That was the time I decided, no, I don't think I'm good for engineering. I should go for uh, I should go to become a lawyer. I can consult better. I can advise better, and this is the thing that I'm born for.
was there something that happened that made you feel that or
Uh,
What
There
was
was a
it?
lawyer. I was highly motivated by our lawyer in that case.
What? Okay, you were highly motivated by a lawyer. Who was the lawyer who motivated you?
Our own lawyer in that case,
Yeah, who was
Mr.
it?
Kabir Lakho. Mr. Kabir Lakho.
Was he a famous lawyer in Pakistan or just or
No,
a
no,
friend
no.
of
He was just an ordinary lawyer, but the way he convinced people, so the way he convinced the judge, the way he dressed, I just become very fond of his dressing. I just felt the the attraction to that black coat, the power, the frequency, that thing appealed me, and I left engineering and joined this art subject and started my law school.
one? That sounds really cool. So you became a lawyer.
Earlier to becoming a lawyer, I was selected in an engineering university with top grades, and then I left it to pursue my own path, to pursue my own dream.
What made you decide to? You left it on your own, but what made you decide to leave it?
My urge to become a lawyer is the only thing that made me to leave engineering. I thought engineers are productive, they are doing a lot for society, but I thought I'm not the person born for engineering. I'm the person born to become a lawyer, to become a good advocate. I'm the person who is born to help people. I'm the person who can solicit better than to make bridge better.
Okay, so you work on human rights. What was there an event that inspired you to do that, or
As I told you, I'm from Ranipur city. Earlier in that times, when even I was a student, our many of our colleagues, Alhamdulillah, I'm from a very privileged family. We have generators, we have UPS, everything in the house. But many of our colleagues who don't have didn't have UPS, who didn't have generators in their house. They were going to a petrol filling station. They were standing, they were studying on a petrol filling station because they didn't have light in their houses because of load shedding. That triggered me. That is something very triggered me in this stage. I'm from Ranipur, I'm from my city, and my people are deprived of libraries. My people are deprived of good public parks. The recent event that took place in my city, they were about to build a, a market over the place of library. They were about to demolish a library and were about to create a market over it, and I stood against it. I made them I made the agreement wide ab initio and made them not to construct any mobile market but to invest that all money on the library.
and what happened? Did they do
Uh,
it?
Initially, they are mobs basically. Na? They are very powerful people. They are all in ministries and government positions. They were not ready to do that. They've signed an agreement for said and so thing. They've made a public-private partnership where they've decided that they will allow a private constructor to demolish public library and will build a market over it. So I challenge that agreement. I challenge that in the concerned department, and concerned department started an inquiry to them, and concerned department declared that you don't have powers to make such agreements, make such public-private partnerships on your own, and they are under an inquiry right now.
Wonderful. So that was your first thing that made you decide you wanted to be a lawyer.
That was my first thing that forced me to work for human rights and basic legal rights.
That's great. So, how many years of law school did you need to go
Uh,
to?
in Pakistan, earlier we had two options. Either we go for 3 year LLB program after our bachelor's, either we go for 5 year LLB honors program. We have two programs here in Pakistan.
And which
So if
program?
you how much? Pardon me. Sorry.
Which program? I interrupted you, so I stopped. Which program did you decide to take?
I went for 5 year degree program. I'm 5 year LLB honors.
And when did you graduate?
Few years back.
Okay, you don't have to tell me the exact amount. So
Uh,
you became a lawyer,
yes.
and that's exciting. What would now? I assume you've been in court. What was your first court case like?
I started working with my senior. My senior is a very renowned lawyer here in Pakistan, Mr. Javed Ahmed Chatari, and it was the final argument of his best case, his most famous case. It was Asma Nawab case. A young girl was accused of killing his brother, mother, and sister. 19 years back, she was accused of killing her brother, mother, and sister. Uh, she was detained for 19 years, and after 19 years, my senior uh, convinced the court to release him, and she was acquitted in that case. That was my first appearance in court with my senior.
Now, did you actually defend her, or were you there more or less watching?
I was there as associate.
What does
I
that?
was uh, in that firm earlier I was working. We have divided our works. One was working on research, one was working on drafts, and other was preparing arguments, and all that collected things goes to our senior, and he decide what case laws we have to give to the court and what arguments we are going to go with, and all these things. It was a collective inclusive work. So I was there in research.
Did you enjoy doing the research?
uh, and earlier years, yes, I enjoyed research. I still enjoy researching case laws, but now Pakistan has made it very easy. We have made a Pakistan law site, and work is very easy right now. Matlab, you just need to go for the thing you are searching, just type it, and you'll find the case laws. You don't need to go into all these books. Just click the keyword, and you'll find your case laws.
That's
So
that's the fascinating part of the internet. You just type it
yeah,
in and find the information. So, what is your
you just,
go on? Go on.
pardon, pardon, I couldn't hear you.
What is your favorite part of law? Do you like to research? Do you like to create the arguments? What do you enjoy doing?
Uh, my introduction is not complete without calling myself a criminal defense attorney. And in criminal defense trials, I love cross examination.
So, can you give me an example where you were really good at the cross examination?
There are many instances where we were very good at cross examination. There are many instances where our firm were very good at cross examinations.
So
There are
give me,
many of.
go on.
I can give you that instance, but I am unable to give you the exact name. So it's a privacy
Oh,
protocol for Pakistani.
I don't want the exact. I just want the story behind it. You can't give.
Uh, there was a time we were working on a criminal case, and prosecution department police produced a AK-47 in that case against our accused. Uh, the police party, the police inspector said that uh, basically AK-47 has certain numbers on it for its identification, whether and it's marked on 3-4 places. The same number is marked on 3 and 4 places. So the police personnel was just trying to play with the code, and he said, "I'm unable to read that. It's unmarked. It's tempered. The number is tempered." So so I go I started going with his capacity of being a police personnel. I asked him, okay, are you a qualified person? You have your degrees? Then I asked him, okay, you got your proper training? You have ever fired AK-47? He said, yeah. Then I asked him, okay, have you ever uh, opened it up and assembled it? He said, yes, I have done that. Then asked him, how many places the number has been written? He said 3 places. Then I went with, okay, is that number tempered? He said, yes. I'm unable to read it now. Then Dean had, no, I'm unable to read it now. So then I mentioned in the court, okay, please write he's unable to read it now. Then I opened up the collation in front of the court, disassembled it, disassembled whole AK-47, and made him to read that number on the barrel of the AK-47. So
So you were
that was the instance with AK-47. Other than that, there was an inquiry ongoing against a police inspector. So I was appearing on behalf of my senior in that case. Uh, the, it was expected that this process is going to be very long. When I saw the inquiry, it was written that a PSP officer would conduct the same inquiry. I simply asked, okay, what is your rank? He said, I'm a SP. I said, when did you commissioned yourself? He said, I'm a ranker. I come from an ASI. So it was just a simple mere 2 questions that disqualified him from being a competent witness in that case.
interesting. So tell me another story. From, remember, I know nothing about law. This is very new to me. What what is your favorite thing to work on? Type of case that you like to work on?
My favorite type of cases are mostly check bounce cases here in Pakistan. We call it 497 cases. So people usually give checks here in Pakistan as a security uh, to different people. So that's interesting cases that I found, and I love to work on them. Like I've given a Carla check for certain amount, and after it got dishonored, and you are filing an FIR against me for recovery of your amounts. Check bounce and recoveries is something very fascinating to me.
Why do you find that fascinating? I would think it's boring.
It's not boring actually. Most of the time, you'll see interesting things in it. You will find interesting family disputes ongoing. Most of the time, you'll see your own client guilty in it. Most of the time, you'll see um, how culprits are caught and convicted for dishonoring checks. They just went into court. They are just been convicted 3 years. They are jailed 3 years if they saw no checks here in Pakistan. We have laws where we have very good laws in Pakistan, but the major problem we see is the implementation and lack of evidence. So if your evidence is good, you are good at cross examination, your trial has been proceeded uh, in a right manner, then you will see miracles here in Pakistan.
Wonderful. Do you do you work on many different types of cases or
As I told you, we have a firm here. We are four lawyers. One is a barrister, other is a tax lawyer, Ali Asnan is a criminal defense attorney and a family attorney. I work on criminal, family, and civil cases. So we are a group of four lawyers, and we work on tax laws. We work on Federal Board of Revenue laws. We work on services matters for employees and employment issues. We work on labor laws. We work on criminal laws basically, and we work on constitutional law and constitutional petitions and civil laws.
okay, how do you have freedom of speech in Pakistan?
It's very freedom of speech is very objective to be
Mm,
to be precise. Freedom of speech is very objective here in Pakistan. Uh, it depends on how popular you are, how many people care about you, and then how much you are speaking. If I'm a privileged person, I have plenty of millions of followers, and if then I'm speaking, that's something different. I have a greater freedom of speech than a person who is not known to someone, or who is in very early stage of his career. It's very tough for him,
so
but
what
it's still better than what image has been given to other people. It's still better. Our media is free, is enjoying great freedom.
really?
Yeah. I don't know why they create hawks so much, but they're enjoying a great freedom because we don't see defamation cases here much. Uh, they can come up again. They can come up and put allegations against anyone, and they will caught free of their defamation cases. They don't face defamation charges, so they are free to say anything. In
I'm
civilized societies, they face defamation cases, so they think 1,000 times before putting on allegations to anyone. But here they can just say anything. Even with the information from Google and Wikipedia, they create their story, so they are all free to say anything.
Do you find that people are beginning to talk out more now?
Yes, with the education comes the power. With the education comes the courage. And now our education ratio is getting better. Our education ratio is increasing. I've seen a great change. Many of our students, young ones, are preferring law over other subjects. With the introduction of external LLB programs here in Pakistan, there are many institutes in Pakistan who are giving external education. They are giving University of London degree of LLB here in Pakistan. They are working as tuition institutes, and I've seen many of the people going there. They are educating themselves, and they are coming as a great people. They are coming as a great spokesmen of their rights. Uh, the, with the Twitter trends, I've seen with even the minute issues, you will see a Twitter trend in Pakistan going on. So Twitter trends is something that is making people more aware. So use of social media, use of Facebook is the other thing that is helping people to work on uh, being more talkative about the issues they are facing.
Now, that kind of, and I use Facebook for my knowledge of the news, but there are so few people when they go online that they're completely honest. Are you honest when you talk to different people about their problems when it comes to Facebook?
Well, where there's a smoke, there's a fire. I don't know how they. Most of the time, they decorate it with the magnitude of issue may vary, but the genuinity of issue is something I'm really concerned about. They are genuine most of the time. Most of the time,
But
we
why do
have.
you,
I I don't think we have much problems here in Pakistan. We don't have talk about, we don't have time to talk about anxiety, we don't have time to talk about depression. We are all concerned about the very basic fundamental rights. We are talking about library, we are talking about playgrounds, we are talking about health facilities, what we are talking about, basic medicines, of your illness, your headache, and very basic medicines. We are all indulged in very basic issues. So I believe we are concerned about missing persons. uh, so there are issues that are very basic and ground rooted, and people are very genuine about it.
that's great. So, in other words, you really love your work in law as well as your studies and everything you're learning. Is that correct?
Yes, I love my work. I love law. I'm always keen of learning, and that's why I connected to Rehan for same reason. Sam, Rehan is a person that connects people that are really interested about learning, in learning. So I'm always keen about learning. Law is everything that I have now. When you choose law, you can't go with anything else than it. So I love my
You don't
degree,
have,
my work.
your time is limited to what you can do. I want to thank you, Aga, for coming and speaking with me. Do you have any final words of wisdom that you would like to share with pat our audience?
What I would like to say is that I believe I've seen media, I've seen people creating a negative image of Pakistan. But truly, um, I encourage all of you, don't just uh, believe on what you see in different blogs. Don't just you believe on what you see on social media. Pakistan is improving. Pakistan is getting better. And I assure you, within 10 to 15 years, you will see a great Pakistan with a more civilized and educated society. And we have nothing to do with extremism at all. We are all loving. We all believe in inclusive society. We we I don't know about the Western society. I didn't study Western societies a lot, but in Pakistan we have different castes in every province. We in Sindh we have Sindhis, in Punjab we have Punjabis, in Balochistan we have Balochis, in KPK we have Pakhtuns, and these four are all different flowers, but they are living together, and that is the evidence that Pakistan is an inclusive society, and Pakistan neglects extremism at all.
I absolutely love what you just said.
Thank you
Thank
so much.
you so very, very much. It's true. We need to unite together in order to be strong as people living on the same planet. Thank you so very much. I want to thank you for also for talking to me. I want to thank our audience for watching and remind people that this show is hosted by the Institute of Peace, which is an online organization promoting peace, one conversation at a time. And let's wave goodbye. Aga, can you wave goodbye? Thank you, people, and thank you, Aga.
Thank you, Carla.